Culture. What all possibly can strike your mind after hearing this word? Food, clothes, art, architecture, religion. And for the existence of a society, these things have a pivotal role to play. Culture provides identity to an individual, to a group, and most importantly, to human existence. For us, culture is more like a tale, which must be heard, understood, and cherished. In quest of one such tale, we went to Shamyaling, a small settlement near the bank of river Yamuna in North Delhi. This little place is home to second generation of Tibetan refugee who left their homeland in 1960s as a result of the event that took place after the Chinese Communist Party took control over Tibet. Samyaling is a perfect example which explains what culture means to a community. In the time when certainty of life was not guaranteed, optimism working in tandem with a strong belief system kept them alive as well as their way of life. Entire settlement is built around a Buddhist monastery. Streets are deep and narrow, with a staggering settlement inundated with a plethora of shops and eateries serving traditional Tibetan delicacy which gives an outsider a different feeling altogether. In front of the monastery, a tall cylindrical holy pillar stands to bless the believers. All one need to do is to move along with the pillar round and round with a pure heart. On Wednesday, these people do not cook meat as this day is considered to be a holy day of the week. Every Wednesday morning, community members gather near the monastery and light incense stick in a structure called Sangur and receive blessing from the Almighty. As mentioned earlier, this place is filled with small shops which sell Tibetan and Nepali goods, with exception to some modern street shops which also trade in Chinese goods. This, as a matter of fact, is the main source of income for the people living here. Apart from this, there are some hotels as well, and from outside, they all had one thing in common: a teleporting vibe and remarkable cleanliness. To keep their language and heritage alive, they have a small government-owned bookshop which deals in Buddhist scriptures in their native language. One common dish that can be found in almost every corner of the street is lafling, which is uniquely spicy. A bit hot for the Indian palate, prepared with a special Tibetan spice, this dish is a staple diet for Tibetan Buddhists. People here are jolly, kind, and talkative as well, but at the same time, one can sense a hint of skepticism in them in their initial interaction. Common population usually refrain themselves from commenting on their religion or culture and simply point toward monks. While offering prayer, Tibetan Buddhists use a sacred scroll called Thangka, which is handcrafted by a Thangka master. Sometimes it takes as long as 2 months to prepare a beautiful Thangka. As per their values, it must be kept holy after the prayer with utmost care, or else one will attract bad blessings. Most of the houses and big shops are built in Tibetan architectural style called Pema Chutsak, which is protruding design with colorful art covering the main door and window of the house. During lunch period, doors of monasteries are closed for 2 hours and reopen at 3 p.m., after which the head monk prepares for the evening ritual. Believers visit monasteries and offer prayer to Lord Buddha and walk around him, touching scrolls called manne. It is believed that touching them and revolving around the monastery will attract blessing from the god. All over the place, one can find many posters and graffiti voicing their opinion on what they call illegal encroachment of China on their homeland and human rights violation by the Chinese authorities on the people of Tibet. This voice of opposition often collides with the dichotomy in the street market of the Shamyeling, as most of the modern shops sell Chinese goods. At the end of the day, one can come here and wander in the bustling narrow streets of the Shamyeling and experience peace in the heart of mini Tibet.